You're like Sarah Palin, and I'm like Barack Obama. And your daughter, she's George Bush. Everything's her fault. Then who they blame? Me, the black man.
Hello, 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 hello. Okay. I'm not always talking about melanated people. I'm not always talking about what we can do, what we should do, you know what I'm saying, to better ourselves. I do sit back and enjoy some bullshit every now and then. And with that being said, I like to say this. I am a big fan of computer graphics when it comes down to movies. Um, it's like the new Transformers. Something about Beast. Okay, I know some history about the Transformers. I remember when I was a kid, and when they had the Beast Transformer Beast. No, as a matter of fact, the dinosaurs. You know what I'm saying? And you can go to the store and you can buy, the Transformer dinosaurs, T-Rex, the flying dinosaur, and whatever, the dinosaur with the spiked back, something like that. And so to see them when they made the movie, I was pumped. I was like, yeah, hell yeah. And for them to make Transformers, these two last movies, and like I think this latest one that they're coming out, they're showing us the other Transformers. Like you remember Jazz, you know what I'm saying? He always was the cool. He was so cool and laid back. You know what I'm saying? He was a sports car. I think he's going to be in this latest Transformer movie. But when I think about computer graphics, I think back to the first Matrix. That blew my mind. I was like, oh hell yeah, they're making a big difference in computer graphics. And then you had Crouching Tiger and Hidden Dragon, and I was like, oh hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? Computer graphics is the shit. Nowadays, that type of thing. Somebody's finally doing something good with computer graphics. Terminator. Each Terminator that came out, they were upgrading their computer graphics. So it's like hell yeah. And then there was Avatar, the first Avatar, and I was like, oh hell yeah. Now I just did a video, and I think it's posted before this one, and it talks about my thoughts on aliens, and I mentioned Avatar and disabled people, and how I'm down with the idea of having an avatar. You know what I'm saying? As a civilian, as a person, but you're plugging in to your own personal avatar that's doing shit in the real world. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to leave your house or nothing like that, because I'm like, look, man, nature is taking back what it, what we fucked up, you know what I'm saying? And it's trying to correct itself. That's the way I feel. And one of the ways it could do that is, you know what I'm saying, we having to being killed off because we're doing shit to fuck with nature. So I understand that way of thinking. I'm not wishing ill will towards mankind, but I'm like, we need to be punished and we need to be corrected and we need to change the shit or change the way that we live so that we can keep this planet going. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, when it comes down to this movie here, I watched it and some things pissed me off. When they was doing the making of the first Avatar, they mentioned how they used like 3 or 4 different belief systems, religious, spiritual belief systems. And I was like, oh wow, for real? That's equivalent to the Matrix using 3, 4 different type of martial arts. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh wow, no shit. And weapons training. So I'm like, oh, okay. So when watching the second Avatar, I was thinking to myself, okay, they got the humans in check, and then the humans came for some revenge. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't need to be reminded of the fucked up shit that humans do. Especially when it comes down to getting revenge. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes down to colonialism. And when I seen that going on about the theme of this movie, I was mad as fuck. Because I was like, how do you take something that's so beautiful and you create something so beautiful, but you plug in the storyline, of such a fucked up theme? I'm like, can't you allow something just to be beautiful? You know what I'm saying? They could do a whole, and on top of that, the director, the creator, the writer has 5 installments that he wants to do all together. And this is just the second one. So it's like, you know how it is when a movie does trilogy. Think of Halloween and Friday the 13th. You know what I'm saying? Look at all the Jasons and the Michael Myers. You know what I'm saying? And all the different people that tried to kill them off. And, you know what I'm saying? It got to the point where it was like, it's not a horror anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, these motherfuckers are not going to die, and they're going to keep coming back. So why are you trying to come up with more reasons of wanting to kill off these I don't know, fucking, what do you call the villain of a horror movie? You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, when it comes down to the Avatar and the second installment of it, I was like, man, they're fucking up the story, or they're fucking up a project that could be so much better by putting a storyline that is so goddamn deep and personal to a lot of people. When I think about colonialism, I think about a lot of fucked up shit, because a lot of fucked up shit happened. And I'm like, why are you adding that on to this movie? I don't get it. I mean, look at all the computer graphics and the way that they created this movie, you know what I'm saying? By using technology. It's like, can't you use that in a better way? And to which they did on the part of creating Pandora. You know what I'm saying? It's like Pandora looked great. It really did. Even the other tribe, the water tribe, you know what I'm saying? They did a great job with them. Now, in the video before this, the video before this is about, them creating aliens and being, creating aliens, to where they're not looking humanish. You know what I mean? Like on Star Trek or Star Wars or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Aliens. I can't see an alien having nostrils or nostril holes where our nostril holes are, or eyes where our eyes are, or ears where our ears are. You know what I'm saying? Or mouths where our mouths are. I can't see that being real. You know what I'm saying? It's like back in the day when they'd be like, we're being visited by aliens. Well, they had these big-headed aliens with big old eyes in the place where our eyes would be, nostril slots where our nostril holes would be, a mouth where our mouth would be. You know what I'm saying? Arms and legs. You know what I'm saying? 2 legs, 2 arms, and a torso. No matter how long and lengthy they might have looked, or how short and stubby they may have looked. And I'm like, man, only humans would think that aliens look like humans, because throughout history, humans have always recreated whatever they think in their imagination is going to look like. You know what I'm saying? They recreated it to look like humans. So that's what that other video was about. And when I think about, the things that they could have done with this technology, it's like dude with woolly dreadlocks. That pissed me off. I'm like, are you trying to say that this motherfucker is a Rastafarian? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, for one, if you know the background of Avatar, you know that white guy, that non-melanated guy, is one of that main character. You know what I'm saying? Sully. So it's like, why in the fuck does this dude have dreads? You know what I mean? It's like it just reminds me of real life shit, of how non-melanated people had made their way into a melanated culture and stolen the look, the style, the swag of that melanated culture. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, god damn, man, will they stop stealing shit? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, even to the fact of the enemies, dude right there. You know what I'm saying? They had to make the enemy into an avatar. You know what I'm saying? To play its part in the movie. And it's kind of like, when you think about all of the so-called leaders, melanated leaders, and the way that you bring them down is by hiring somebody melanated to get into the society or the culture or the gang, or, you know what I'm saying, the cult or whatever, and, destroy that cult, that group of people from the inside out. You know what I'm saying? Are you understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's like if you want to bring down an organization, you slip somebody in and you take the organization down from the inside out. They did the same thing with the mafia. You know what I'm saying? They found somebody who was weak enough to make a deal with the police, and they went in and testified against the other people. You know what I mean? You know, it wasn't a thick as thieves type of thing anymore. So anyway, back to this movie. It was a beautiful movie, but I hated how it triggered me to what has happened in reality. And when it comes down to the entertainment that we choose to try and find some enjoyment with, most people just watch whatever they watch and they just call it entertainment. But some people are conscious enough to know that, yo, this is some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I can't enjoy something when I'm constantly thinking of the bullshit that they're trying to slip in there. Not trying to slip in there, but the bullshit that they did slip in there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, you can't enjoy nothing because they're constantly slipping in some bullshit. And I hate that. Now, as much as it looked good, the visuals was great, they just fucked it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, I'm picky about what I watch. And sometimes I get tired of being picky about the things that I watch. But I have to, because I just can't let these people get away with their bullshit. I tried to watch a movie this morning called The Dare. And when I was watching that movie, I was like, I can't finish this, because it's like, for example, fucking commercials. For example, do you remember that insurance company that has this commercial? It's an insurance commercial where you got these kids that are like, let's hide in the tool shed, and the villain is in the tool shed, like sharpening its tools to hunt them down and kill them with. And then at the end of the video, or the end of the commercial, as it's going off, you can hear them saying, "Come on, let's go hide in the cemetery." So it's like, you know, they're making all the bad choices. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh man, this is crazy. So I relate that to the things that they're trying to entertain us with. You know, I'm like, okay, if you know it's going to be about some bullshit, if your spirit is telling you this is some bullshit, then it fucks up everything about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can't watch this no more because they're adding this bullshit in there and they think that I don't recognize it. You know what I mean? It's like watching Django. And when I'm watching Django, you know, I'm thinking of I forgot that brother's name, but it just reminds me of all the melanated people that led a revolt during slavery times. Nat Turner. Okay? Django reminds me of Nat Turner. And if you do your research on Nat Turner, you know what I'm saying, you'll see that you see how long his revolt, you know what I'm saying, lasted, things like that. And when it comes down to Django, you know, you kind of think of Django as far as in a period of time that that German dude had met Django, and they teamed up to the time that Django, ended up fucking up Leonardo DiCaprio. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how many days and weeks do you think that really was? You know what I'm saying? If you can put it in a time span, and you see how relevant it is to what Nat Turner had done. So anyway, look how, as I'm talking and running my mouth, I hope that you looked at this video and you was looking at the computer graphics, and you got to see, or you get to see how well this movie looks, how good this movie looks. You know what I'm saying? And if you're listening to what I'm saying, I hope you're getting an idea of, these non-melanated people. I get tired of people saying black and white, because look at my cursor. My cursor is white. My cursor is white. These letters are white. This background is black. Okay? I don't see nobody looking these colors. And I'm tired of people using that to describe another person. And the closest thing that I can say is melanated and non-melanated. Like that guy there. That guy looked more pinkish than brownish. You know what I'm saying? And brownish comes from the melanin. You know what I'm saying? He don't have melanin. You know what I'm saying? So, bada bing, bada boom. Hope you can understand the way I talk. Alright? Now look at these aliens. You see all those aliens, those different pictures of what they were trying to get an image of what these aliens should look like? And if you don't understand, let me try to go back. Designing the Navi. You see where the eyes are, the nose are, the mouth. Humanoidish. Humanoidish. Look at that. Ears, eyes, nose. Boom. Look at all these different types of aliens that they were trying to envision. And look at where the eyes are. Look at where the noses are. Look at where the mouths are. Look at, like right here, that little dark spot is supposed to be an ear hole. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be an ear hole right there on the side of the head. This one you can't tell because it has these flanges, whatever you want to call them, protruding out the side of the head. You know what I mean? But still, humanoidish. So that pisses me off. I'm like, okay, in the beginning of this video, they showed all the sea creatures. Let me see if I can find those sea creatures. No, I can't. Not as fast as I want to. But they created a bunch of sea creatures. And those sea creatures did not look humanoidish. So I'm wondering, why can't they make those type of aliens and put them into a setting where they're communicating, they're destroying other aliens? You know what I'm saying? It's just, I hate commercials. I'm sorry, I just had to wait a second for the commercial in, and I'm just like, I hate commercials. But just as much as I hate commercials, I hate the fact that YouTube wants you to pay a little something in order to make it ad-free. It's like, fuck. Man, seriously? So anyway, I'm about to end this video, and I want to say that I enjoyed the graphics. I enjoyed the graphics on this movie, but the storyline, I didn't enjoy the storyline of the movie. And much like a lot of movies, you know, it's like these people, they don't do a case study of or about who they may be disappointing or who they may be upsetting, who they may be triggering a bad, you know what I'm saying, some bad news or some bad memories, you know what I'm saying, based off of what they're creating. Okay, right there, Pocahontas. Pocahontas. If you do your own research about Pocahontas, you should see how much of a sellout Pocahontas was. The truth about Pocahontas. Seriously. But Disney marketed off of Pocahontas. Boom. That's supposed to be Pocahontas. That's supposed to be John Smith. Something like that. Alright? And for them to put them right in here with the mix of Avatar, if a person didn't pay attention, they would not have seen that. And Sully is this John Smith dude, and Pocahontas is Zoe Saldana as his Na'vi. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you don't know about this story, you won't see that story in this movie. You know what I'm saying? And it's fucked up, because this original story is fucked up. So that makes this part, this theme, this part of the story of this movie fucked up. You can't enjoy it without thinking, you know what I'm saying? You can't enjoy this movie without thinking about this realistic and this real thing that happened. So I'm not crazy when I'm telling you the graphics look great, but the meaning behind it is fucked up. And it triggers a person like me, because I know a little something about this true story of Pocahontas and how she went over to Europe and sold out her people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say it in those, I don't know the story well enough to say it, that it happened in that order, but I know that Pocahontas ended up dying over there because she started catching them diseases and shit that these people get. You know what I'm saying? It's like these two people are naturally supposed to stay divided because their immune systems are different. Alright? And Pocahontas ended up dying because she got sick. I believe. I think that's what really happened. And when it comes down to this movie, in the very beginning of this movie, she hated what they needed to do. She hated the idea of them having to do what they needed to do. I'm saying this in a way to not fuck up the movie. But you can see the sadness in her face. You can see how upset she was when he told her that we need to do some shit. You know what I'm saying? We need to do something. And she couldn't stand it. So it's like, man, even in real life, people who have relationships, they meet somebody that they settle with. something inside of them are telling them, I like this person, but they're not fulfilling everything that I need them to fulfill. They're asking me to compromise. You know what I'm saying? And it's fucked up. You got a lot of unhappy people and a lot of fucked up relationships based off of compromising. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you don't have to compromise. When you're really with somebody that you're really, really happy with, there is no compromise. There's no compromises that need to be made. You know what I'm saying? It's like you both agree on fucking everything. On everything. So, I'm not crazy when I sit here and I look at this movie and see the truth behind the plot and the storyline. And I'm just like, man, you know, you can do some great things, but you can fuck up those great things with adding in too much shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, it's crazy. It's really crazy. But if you're into computer graphics, take this movie and enjoy it for the computer graphics. Just be careful of what you're watching. You know what I'm saying? Look. Look at all this shit here. This is what they wanted to put on this culture of blue creatures. And if you do your homework, think of all the melanated people that have worn this throughout history. I don't care if you're talking about people in South America. I don't care if you're talking about people over in Europe or whatever the fuck, the Middle East or whatever the fuck, especially in Africa. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you're talking about people that is in the Caribbeans. It doesn't matter. Once Africans started moving out of Africa, they evolved into the colors they evolved into. The clothes that they had to wear was clothes they needed to wear for the environments. But for every person that lived in an environment where they could dress and wear this type of shit, that's where you'll find this type of shit. So, when you see this movie, you gotta try to enjoy it the best you can. Otherwise, you know what I'm saying, you're just gonna be reminded of how these colored people have taken ideas from another colored people and they just ran with it. And the fucked up truth about it all is that these colored people these colored people came from the same place that the other colored people came from. Their whole DNA came from the same place. But yet these motherfuckers here was steal from the other people in order to get money, in order to accomplish their own agendas. Now, if you don't like hearing me saying that, yo, I don't understand you. I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm not saying this to be fucked up. I'm saying this to be informative. I'm saying this to share some information. You see those creatures in the background? All these sea animals and all that shit? That's what I think of when I think of aliens. I don't think of aliens looking like us. You know what I'm saying? With the eyes and the nose and the mouth and the ears being in the same locations. or arms and legs, you know what I'm saying, being attached to a torso, you know what I'm saying, the same way that ours is. I don't see that. You know what I mean? And I hate the way that mankind tames all these other creatures and try to be so superior over everything else. I can't stand that. I can't stand it. You know what I'm saying? I just can't stand it. Now you got lions out there that are on the safari and their you know what I'm saying, their territory is theirs. And if any other, you know, like hyenas or warthogs or whatever gets into their territory, then the lions is like, hey, you stepped into my backyard, so you can't cry if I fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that, because that's just the way of nature. But when it comes down to mankind, it's like we're supposed to be wiser than that. So we're supposed to be able to be better than to try to tame everything, to try to fucking be superior over everything in that type of way. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, they're out there shooting basketball. I'm not saying that that's a brown thing, but it's one of those things where, you know, I don't know. I guess I still get triggered. I know everybody likes basketball, and it's not a racial thing. I know that, but it's just, wow. You know, that's my fault for getting triggered on that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not a racial thing. It really is not. It's not. You know what I'm saying? That's like the difference between Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Larry Bird and Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? There's so many things that Larry Bird was good at, was better than Michael Jordan. They both trash talked. You know what I'm saying? But some people say that Larry Bird, his trash talk was worse than Michael Jordan's. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to skill, they'll say that that Michael Jordan's athleticism was better than Larry Bird's. But when it comes down to having the strong mind, no. The technique of basketball, then it's kind of like that's where they were equal at. Because for their different positions that they played, you know what I'm saying, they see the floor and the players in a different view than other people. So it's like, yo, I forgot what you call that. Their mind for the sport, you know what I'm saying, was just better than a whole lot of other people. And that's, you know, part of what made them so great in their own way. But anyway, I'm going to get off this video, man. I done ran my mouth enough. I just wanted to give you my reaction to this movie. You know, once again, I say if you like computer graphics, it's a great fucking movie. It's a beautiful fucking movie. But if you're watching it for the storyline, you just gotta be careful, man, because there's a lot behind the story that'll fuck you up if you know the truth and the background of where they got these ideas from. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna end this movie. It's kind of like a person saying, I'm not racist, but they go and they do some racist shit, unaware of it being a racial thing. You got a lot of people that's ignorant to the actions of what racism really is, and they go out and they do the shit, and they'll sit back and say, but I'm not racist. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand that? Alright. And on that, I'm going to end this movie. And I still say, hey, go out and watch it. But go out and watch it for the technical part of it. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to the graphics. Because the storyline is a sad thing. Not only is it a sad thing, but it comes from a history of people that didn't deserve to have their culture stolen. And on that note, I want you to have a good day, I want you to have a good night, I want you to have a good morning. Here's my disclaimer. I'm not the smartest person in the world, I'm not the dumbest person in the world. I've done my research on some things, and there's a whole lot of shit out there that I can still do research on. I just don't trust the sources that I gotta get my research from. See, look at that. Look at this shit. Think of all the people that they stole this from in order for them to make $1 out of it. So anyway, what I need you to do is I need you to question everything that I'm talking about. I need you to do your own research on on these different things that I'm talking about. I need you to form your own opinion about these different things. And most importantly, I need you to share your opinion with other people, because you never know who may have been thinking about the same shit on the same level that you're thinking of, but yet they don't have anybody else to talk to. And it's a fucked up feeling to feel like you're the only person thinking the way that you think, especially when you're around a bunch of other people who think differently and they look at you like you're a fucking weirdo. I've been there, I've done that, and I didn't like it. I've seen other people that's been there and done that, and I didn't like the way that people treated them. So anyway, you take care. Peace.